Hello, hello. What's up, Kaya? Hey, Werewolf. Hey, Ray. Hey, Teague. Hello, everybody. Let's see. Getting situated here. I was going to do something. I forget now. Ba-da-ba-da. Yo, what's up, Liara and Maple? Welcome back to the stream, everybody. Not too much. How am I? I'm doing great. I'm excited to look at these items. I have not looked at any of the new housing items yet. And I guess technically I did see a little bit of spoilers on Twitter, just because, you know, you can't scroll through Twitter and not see some spoilers on stuff. But I tried to like scroll away really fast if I saw any spoilers. So for the most part, I'm going in totally blind. I think I caught a glimpse of a few housing items, also from the live letter, you know, the preview images. But I've heard that there's a ton of items for housing, and I've heard that I'm going to be super excited because apparently there's a lot of structural stuff, and there's like a bunch of stuff that's really, really good. So I'm curious, to all you, my wonderful housing friends, without telling me specifics on the housing items, before we get started, what is your thoughts? What did you think of the new 6.2 housing items? I'm very curious. Like, don't tell me specifics on any specific item, but like general thoughts. What do we think? 6.2 housing items? What do we give it? Okay, Liara, sorry, I quickly ran to the other room to grab my coffee. Okay, so Liara's saying she's loving the new ones you saw so far. Mia saying good stuff, some really nice, useful items. Yeah, that's the thing. I've been hearing, Mia, and I guess everybody, I've been hearing a lot of really good things about that. They added a lot of very versatile structural type items, which is like, oh, Yes, thank you. This is exactly what I want, you know? I think it's what a lot of us in the housing scene who are really into it. We like, it's funny because like, I feel like there is a place for those items that are so specific, or they're very just plug and play, right? Like it's a couch and it's got pillows on it already, and it's already got like decoration stuff. So it's like one item that just gives you the whole living room. But then I feel like for so many of us in the housing scene, it's like, no, I don't want that. I want like every pillow individually and dyeable, and I want like, you know, give me like a really simple couch and then let me dress it up. But at the same time, don't make it too small where I have to use like 10 items just to get like a reasonable sized couch. So it's like a balance. But I'm very curious, yeah, to see how they've been reworking how they're giving us these items. Maple's saying very solid items this time around. Cool, yes. There's one I need to get for the OCE Eorzean Aquarium room. Ooh, that's exciting. Killich. Katali's saying I haven't left my island. Yo, yeah, I think for a lot of people, right, everybody's just been focusing on the island sanctuary, to be fair. Especially since it's really hard to get into it. So, I know, like, for me, too, that's one of the reasons why I'm going to do this item review over here on Materia, because I can actually get in my house here on Materia. So, I was over on my main, and I did unlock my island. So I have done some of the island sanctuary. And, but yeah, I did that like late at night last night. So, today I tried logging on and it was like locking me out of island sanctuary. So I was like, yeah, that's a no. I'm going to need to be like, I want to look at the yard items and the inside items here. And I can't have it where on stream I can't get into the house, you know? When you go inside, you're making coffee? Yes, join me, Beanwater crew. Everybody, join me. Coffee and tea time. Also, what's up, Lime Cola? Haven't seen you in a little while here in stream. Welcome back to the stream. Let's see, who else did I say hi to yet? Let's see, did I miss anybody else that joined in? Well, in any case, welcome to the stream, everybody. Let's get started. If you do happen to be a Materia, you're welcome to come over and come hang out with me. So I know like Liara and Alora have alts here too. But I'm gonna get started because I hear that there's a ton of items. So actually, let's maybe start. Well, it's okay. Actually, I don't necessarily. Maybe we won't start with outside. We'll start. Wait, what did I just hit? Oops. Okay. Scratch that. Here we go. Let's start with this item review. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so we're just gonna go from the top and we're just gonna go all the way down. Your main is, oh, is here on Materia? Yeah, let me get you the address really quick. I kind of forget where I am, to be honest. What is it, estate details? Here we go. Plot 31, 19th Ward, Shirogane. You can add me in game too. I'm on Bismarck. Lime, if you want to add me in game, then you can warp over here. Yo, what's up, Aramore? Welcome back to the stream. All right, everybody. So let's get on with this housing. I say it's a live reaction and review, but I'm not like gonna be like hardcore judging these things. First and foremost, I'm just excited to look at these items and just kind of give my honest thoughts, like, and first impressions, you know? So, yeah. I am curious though, actually. Would you guys be interested in seeing me do like an actual like tier list or something, you know, of like housing items at some point? Like, is that something where you would want to see that as a stream, a full-on tier list where I'm actually like sort of judging or ranking the items? Or is this good enough, you know, just like looking at the items and just some general thoughts? Holy crap. Okay, is this a... This has to be... Oh my god. Oh my god, just these first two items is already so exciting. Holy shit. Wait. Oh my goodness. This is... Wow. Okay. Oh, I love it. Everybody's saying hi to everybody in here. Yo, what's up, Neon Fox? Welcome back to the stream. And yeah, you'd love a tier list, Liara? Okay, yeah. Who is anyone else interested in like a tier list eventually? Not right now today, but like sometime. But like, holy shit, guys! Wait, this is a giant ass window with one item slot. This and a stage panel. Boom! Instant, fucking huge ass windows. Holy crap! Wait, this is actually amazing. Honestly, I could stop the item review 6.2 item review right here, and I could tell you that this is revolutionary in a way, probably. Okay, I'm gonna so a bunch of this might also be nitpicking a little bit, and by nitpicking a little bit, I mean it's definitely gonna be nitpicking, but okay. I do hope that sometime they give us a bunch of these like partitions that they're like the factory partition or like this partition, but I hope that they give us it in a skinny form, like the wood slats, you know, like how this is totally nitpicking, but like if we could get a factory partition, the chain link fence, as well as this new Gale, the jailer cell thing, but if we could have it like in the thin form, like the wood slats, that would be like as well as the wider form. I think that would be super useful because it's so big that sometimes it's a little bit hard to use when we're using only edges of it and stuff. Right? So like for example, this, yeah, it's like really big. So I could see how if we had one where it was just this 1/3 of it over here, like this one segment, that would be really, really cool too. So I don't know, Square Enix, if you ever are watching this, like that'd be really cool. Just take a bunch of your existing items and just like chop them in half or chop them in thirds. And that would be like really nice. I promise we would use them so much and we will thank you endlessly. I would not be mad to have a patch that was literally just taking like 50 of the existing items and just chopping them in half or in thirds. Just because, yeah, I mean, that would be incredibly useful. But man, this is already so cool. Right off the gate, right off the bat. Oh, and are they... It's different on both sides, is it? Like, is there... Hold on, let me see this. So what I'm saying, right, is on this side, I see there's these like little rivets or something, right? The little like detailing. And on the other side, is that not the case? Oh no, it is. It's on both sides. Okay, that honestly, it's so subtle that I think that that's still really, really good. But my thought there would be, I wonder if that will at all be crippling for certain builds where you're trying to get like a really clean metal look, right? This is a bit more of an industrial look because of the little riveting, I think. But like the edges are nice and clean. That's like, oh, we've been wanting this, right? We've been wanting some really nice like this is as close as we might ever get to getting the clean version of the factory stuff, right? We've talked about that where it's like if we could have a de-rusted version of the factory things. So like I think this is probably about as close as we might ever get to that. And I'm guessing too that this one for the door version, right? I'm guessing because it's not triggering as I'm running up to it, that this is a toggle, which is kind of crazy because if that is true, that this is a toggle similar to the locker, right? Then that is amazing because then we don't need to put an NPC here to keep the door open or closed. But it also means that we can't let our friends open the door themselves. We'd have to do that ourselves, right? So I guess a good and bad thing. But overall, that's really good. I think it's more flexible when we get to choose whether it's open or closed in a way. So yes, you can actually jail or trap friends now. And the only way they can get out of there is to become a ghost, which is a bit morbid, but Morbin. They gotta star Morbin. Is that still alive? Is that joke still alive? The Neon tier list would be fun too, I see. Neon Fox. Could be cool to do a list of like potential, even if an item is weak by itself, but it could be cool to be used in another way. Okay, I see what you're saying, yeah. Like, I definitely think that there's a stream that could happen where there's one version where it's like pure ranking items as they are, and then there's like a version of a ranking system or a stream where we talk about items. Maybe like it's basically talking a 9 out of 10. It's basically 9 out of 10 stream where we talk about all the items that are like, this is amazing, but blah 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 blah. Or this is amazing, but only, but you kind of got to use it in like this crazy way or something, you know? So, okay. Interesting. So there we go. The Gale partition door and the Gale partition. Amazing. I love it. I think... Yeah, I think there's so much uses for this. Just these two items alone are absolutely fantastic. Oh, one sec. Should be open now. I think Limecole is coming to join us, and I'm gonna go grab a chair for her really quick. Oh, actually, there are chairs over there on the tables, but I'll get some extra chairs. Ba-ba-ba. Let's get some Glade stools. I always like these. They're so cute. Yo, what's up? Hello. Rocking the summer wear. Looking good. Here you go. I'm gonna put some chairs down, so in case any of you guys are coming to visit, then we can have a little live, filmed in front of a live studio audience. So okay, so we have the Gale door. Next one, Kugane Phasmascape. Whoa. Okay. Well, I mean, I think the short skinny on this one is it's a Phasmascape. So it has all the problems that I already don't like about Phasmascapes, but it has all of the amazingness that I also like about Phasmascapes, right? Absolutely beautiful in terms of, I also just love Kugane. I think Kugane is probably aesthetically by far my favorite town in the game. Not only in the areas that you can access, but also the fact that there is the humongous like castle backdrop that you can't even get to. But just, I feel like, to me at least, the scale of Kugane and the detail, and admittedly, I really love Japanese, like Asian aesthetic, especially at nighttime, with all the warm lights and all that stuff. So this is totally something I really, really like. Look here, I'll put it in front of you, even though you can't technically see it, Lime, in game, but yeah, I really like this. I think it's going to be fantastic for people who are doing especially diorama style stuff. So like this view out the window of whatever they're doing, or yeah, I think this is fantastic for people who are doing open windows, basically, which is exactly what the Phasmascapes have mostly been used for. Because this one is so detailed on the cityscape and it's pretty much covering the whole scene with cityscape, it won't be maybe as useful as like the Azim Steppe or the Sea of Clouds. A lot of people hide the mountain part and they end up with just kind of like a big open sky if you put it in the right way in different windows. So I could see how this one is really great if you really want this scene out your window, but it's not as versatile maybe as something like the Sea of Clouds, where it's kind of like a generic blue sky, right, with just clouds moving by. So it might be a little bit limiting in that way, but honestly, I think it's fantastic. I think same thing here. Oh, here we go. Actually, no, this is here we go. This actually completely solves what I just talked about, which is this one, I think also is really fantastic for, you know, if you want the Costa del Sol look, but it has the versatility of if you just chop out the buildings, then you just have a random island, right? Like this whole left half, this whole segment right here, through a window, and especially this part right here. This is just a big blue sky, right? And if you just put a bunch of this area shining through a window, then you get all the magic of the Phasmoscape with the clouds subtly moving, the little bit of movement there, but you'll just have a generic blue sky that could be anywhere, right? And I think that's really useful to not only have the blue sky, I think, as it is, but also if you wanted to extend, right? So if you can imagine having maybe, for example, the sea of clouds or something. One moment. Let me just adjust the volume thing here really quick. Sorry about that. So what I mean by this is, let's get the Phasmoscapes. So from the Phasmoscapes here, I think, for example, if you wanted to extend now the blue sky of this, right? Or if you wanted to extend, you know, the blue sky of this one or something, right? Then you have some options, right? To potentially use like this in combination with the Costa del Sol one now, to maybe extend the palm trees with other types of blue sky without this looking like a copy paste. So I think there's going to be people who use that to great effect, where the sky won't just look like 6 of these in a row, right? 6 of these little segments, but you can vary it up by splicing these together to get a blue sky appearance. But yeah, Phasmoscapes, I love it. I still wish they would get rid of this weird metal thing that's sticking out, because it just kind of makes this little area, the gutter, like this segment right here is kind of, I don't know. I've seen almost nobody who leaves this in. Almost everybody hides this, and I just wish, like, it's fine to have the ornamentation here on the edges, but I just wish they'd get rid of these metal pieces across all Phasmoscapes, because it would just give us this whole bit back, basically. If I had a 9 out of 10 like question mark thing about Phasmoscapes, it would definitely be, why do we have this weird metal piece? But that being said, they're really useful, they're really awesome, and they add a lot to open windows and other creative uses in a build. They picked a really pretty scene for it too. Definitely. I definitely agree for the Kugane one. Also, what up, Lilith Hadashi? Hi, welcome back to the stream. Yeah, let's see. So I definitely like, I'm definitely really liking this. I'm liking these two. Let's see. Now we have Garly and Stowe. Whoa. Okay. That's really cool. That is extremely useful for metalwork and futuristic spaceship builds, right? Extremely useful. I could see people doing all sorts of cool shit with this, as well as it's really nicely detailed to put a lantern on top of this. It looks like a stand, right? I mean, so you could easily make this into a ceiling light as well. So I could easily see a version of this that is you taking this and pushing it up into the ceiling like this, and now you have a really nice ceiling light. You could push it to the floor or hide a lot of it. You could use just an edge to get the little paneling, the glow. That's really cool with the little fire here. I wonder if someone's going to take this and use it for something like a stove or something, right? I think, yeah, I think I could see some really interesting see-through ovens, right? Where you show the burners maybe below or something like that. I think that could be really interesting. Let's see. I'm wondering, I wonder if this would be an interesting one to do. Like this. All right. Yeah, maybe we'll try this for a second. I don't know. How do you guys like this? Question, do you guys... I have this like a little bit more full screen version of the overlay. But then you can't really see chat and some of the other stuff that I usually have showing. Let's see here. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's big. Okay. I think maybe this is the way to go. Okay, so yeah, this is interesting. This giant hay bale. I'm trying to think, like, this doesn't well, okay, first of all, we have a blanket, so this could be used as a bed, as like, I could easily see someone framing this as a little bit disheveled bed, right? So a lot of the beds that we have right now, they look like they're like hospital tucked, right? They're like really nicely made up, but there's not a lot of bedding that looks like it's like someone just got out of bed, you know? And so I do wonder if this would be really cute in like cottagecore type builds where you put other pillows and stuff here and you basically hide all the hay, but then you get now this sort of disheveled looking blanket where it looks a little bit more lived in, right? Like it looks like someone got up out of bed to do their work and they kind of just threw their blankets back on top of the bed. But they didn't necessarily like a hospital tuck it in really beautifully, because I do think that, yeah, that's kind of, I don't know, that'd be my first thought as to like something you might want to do with something like this. And underneath is just a lot of hay, but I could see you doing like putting this with some like stage panels maybe or something. Or like, again, with the cottagecore thing, like, I guess like the Island Sanctuary that we just made, right? Where it's kind of like it's not a cave fort, but it's like, you know, a shelter or something, right? Like it's like a little bit exposed insulation, housing insulation, right? Or even that if you're in like a barn or a shack or something like that, then there might actually be just like some of this showing through the roof. Is this a bed? It's not a bed, right? Does that count as a bed? I see someone saying bed meta. Oh, it is a bed. Does anyone know? Does this bed meta? Thatch roof I'm seeing? Oh yeah, oh see, yeah, we're on the same page, yeah. Teague and Damos saying like thatch roof. Hay is both more and less comfy than you'd expect. That's true. Island Paradise item? Okay. Yeah. Okay, I think it's cool. If it's a bed, you should be able to slash doughs in it. That is true. Yeah, okay, I could see someone... honestly, the thing about every large item that we get in this game, I definitely feel like I'm always like impressed by every time we get a really big item. It usually initially seems a little unruly, like, oh, that's really big. But it usually ends up being that means there's a lot of surface to work with. So there's like a lot of ways that you can turn this and hide stuff and make it your own, basically. And okay, someone is obviously too gonna just hide everything and use the cute little hat here, because it's a very nice little hat. It's very detailed. And does it die? And if it dies, does the hat die with it? The hat does. So there we go. The hat does change color along with the bed sheets. So you get the bed sheets changing color and the little ribbon around the hat. So if you hide everything but the hat, you can change the hat's ribbon color to match your build and your character's aesthetic. That's nice. Nice little touch, right? You can see it's very subtle, but it is changing color. So nice. Also, Lorenlin 29. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for that follow. Let's see. Liara is saying, I want that bed for my aquarium room to use as a straw ceiling. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Noah, other Noah, what's up? What's up, Noah? Noah to Noah. I immediately thought of just using the little hat when I saw the bed. Yeah, exactly. That's the housing mindset, right? We look at all the items and we just think, okay, what? I think all of us, right? We see these things and we just think instantly like, okay, I'm definitely not going to use this whole item 99% of the time. What random little thing on it am I going to use? Like this one too. Wow, that's actually really nice. This is a fantastic pillar, right? That's gonna definitely be a really fantastic pillar. That's really clean looking. I hope it dies. Does it die really well? Oh, it dies very nicely. Beautiful. Look at this. Right? So, oh, it's a little darker than everything else, but still though, look at that. Like, that's really nice. It plugs basically like right in. I think it would just be a matter of getting the dies to match a bit, but looks really nice. I love that there's this clean panel. And if you did the pillar with this, you could double or triple them up. So you could take this and then you could take one. So take this. If you use this as this side as a pillar, if you wanted the pillar to be deeper, right, then you just double it up and have one that's right there, right? And then the pillar would get thicker, so that way it sticks out more from the wall without showing anything over here, and you wouldn't see the gaps. So you could do that 2 or 3 times over and create like a much wider pillar that still has this aesthetic. So that's a potential useful way to use this. Let me scale this window down. It's a little bit big. There we go. That's much better. So I'm loving the little gold accents. I think it's a nice detail and it's subtle enough though that it will fit in with a lot of different types of builds. Like it doesn't scream at you by being super ornate, but it does have that really nice, you can see it there. It's shining, catching the light there up top here. Very pretty. And then obviously there's like all kinds of little details here. Someone who wants, that's the rebel boots basically. Chef hat, shoes. Those are big shoes. Those are huge shoes. Now that I think about it, look at, these shoes are the size of my whole body. In fact, this whole thing is humongous now that I'm thinking about it. Is this a house for giants? What is this, a house for ants? Like the books too, right? I mean, okay, I can't stand up there, but like those books are gigantic. Right, the cloak is fine, I think. This is about scale, but like these books are humongous. And so are the shoes and everything. But okay, I mean, again, I could see a lot of creative uses with this by hiding certain aspects of this. Yeah, I think it's pretty versatile. What people are going to do with it. Oh, whoa, okay. Also, flipping this around, that's kind of cool that they actually added this detail. That the back side of this has a coat hook as well. Right? See right here? There's the jacket hanging on this side, but that's kind of a nice detail that they actually gave you a second coat hook right here. So if you wanted to use this as a wardrobe thing, you could actually have like just this really clean little coat hook. And you could totally hide the rest of everything in the wall and just now have this angled hook at your entryway or something like that. So, yeah. Interesting. That could be useful. Must be for a row or a lizard. I see, yeah. Totally unrealistic because Vieira can't wear hats. No! I heard about that Vieira did get some hairstyles though, right? So at least it's something. Okay. Rousing chronometer. Whoa, interesting. Okay, hold on. Maybe like for the tabletop stuff, I should get a little table so that we could put stuff on it. Just get a simple table. Actually, I probably own a table somewhere, but what's like a really nice simple table? I think this is probably nice. Okay. So, let's see. This chronometer. Here we go. Let's have a look at this. Interesting. Oh, it's got a little unhappy face behind it. Oh, why can't I grab it? Everyone's see the little unhappy face? That's kind of cute. So it's an alarm clock, basically. It's also a handle, for sure. Like, someone's gonna use just the handle, because that's like a really pretty looking handle. I don't know off the top of my head what I would use that for, but I could definitely see that someone is just gonna figure out a really nice use to use this really pretty handle. It's angled too, so I do wonder. I don't know. It's a little specific. It does very much look like a clock. So the fact that it's angled will make for some interesting stuff, I think. Let's see, what is everyone thinking about this? Oh, you're all can wear the Great Lengths now. Oh, is that one of the hats that got unlocked for Vieira? The Great Lengths? Yay, new Vieira hairstyles, woohoo! Alarm clock, Noah's saying. That could easily be the top handle of a custom-made cooking pot. True, yeah, middle, that's for sure, yeah. Handle for a cooking pot or something like that. Tea kettle, cooking pot, right? Honestly, I love when they add new furniture because all the housing enthusiasts immediately think of different ways to use the item. Exactly. That's what this stream's all about, basically, is us just geeking out about like coming up with ideas of how to use these things. You could make an old school rotary phone out of the top. Ooh, yeah, there you go. There you go. Man, rotary phones. What's that? You mean phones weren't always touchscreen? Back in my day, we used to hit the T9 buttons to make the phone talk to the people. Everybody remember that? I mean, rotary phones, T9, right? Dating myself here. Ooh, is this just a plain old box? Okay, here we go, simple basket. hell yeah. Okay. Just a simple box. I like it. Honestly, I mean, it's so simple that people are just going to go crazy and make all kinds of weird stuff with this, and it's going to be amazing. Okay, I'm trying to think. What do you guys think about this one? Like, I think it's a very pretty looking box. It's not, probably dies, right? Oh, the clock dies as well. This box can make a very... How dark does it go? Oh, okay. That's very nice. Honestly, for all the modern builders out there, I feel like this is going to be really nice because this gives you the ability to make, like, I guess, what do you call it? Shelving. Like, if you make custom shelving, I feel like this very nicely slots into some, like a room, right? Storage bins, basically. The whole thing dies, yeah, including the ribbon trimming or the what do you call this? I don't know what would you call this? The outline of it or something? The structure of it, but the whole thing does die, which is really nice. Oh, on lighter dyes though, this doesn't dye that dark, so this is like no dye, and if you put Snow White dye, it doesn't immediately knock the whole trim all the way to white. But if you go really dark, it does basically disappear and it becomes like a big black box. So yeah. Oh, Liara is saying like tile wall. Yeah, I could see that. Like really, really condensed looking tile, putting them all next to each other. Mail slot. Texting. Oh man, everybody said texting was a wild time, right? T9 texting days. Landlines too. Yeah, what's a landline? Goodness. LAN party? Why would I do a LAN party when I can just go on the internet? Oh, those are so fun though. LAN parties. I mean, couch co-op is still a thing, right? Remember using rotary phones? My grandma had one in their house. Damn. I will admit, I don't think I ever legitimately called on a rotary phone. I know what they are, but I don't recall ever actually dialing on a rotary phone, personally. I remember the one in 101 Dalmatians for some reason. I remember that Cruella de Vil does it, and she uses her little like smoke stick, and she's like dialing using that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm not misremembering. I'm pretty sure there's like a very distinct scene where she's like using her little like long smoking pipe, and she's like dialing using the rotary phone like that. Let's see. I miss the joys of putting the numbers in the rotary phone. Yeah, it is a cool thing. It's like a cool device. Kitchen backsplash. Yeah, I see everyone's like thinking like tiling backsplashes, basically. The box is so cute. My friend used to run a community LAN party. Miss the craziness of them. Yeah, right? They were so fun. Like LAN parties and everything. Good time. In-person hanging out. Oh man, that looks like it's probably somewhat of a spoiler. So apologies to anybody who that might... Oh, actually, I don't know. I don't know what this is, I'll be honest. So I don't know what that even spoils, but it's a very pretty... That's a beautiful sword. Holy shit. We're not going to linger on that one too long in case that's too spoily for anybody. I'm not going to read the description on that. So I think it's a spoiler probably. I should maybe have said that at the beginning. Possible spoiler alert on this stream, obviously. So I'm going to be going through all these items, and I have not screened any of them because I'm trying to do a live react here, right? So I have no idea what I'm about to find. So let's see. The edges would make like the grout. Yeah, that's true. Backsplash. Oh, for the box, right? It's fun to move the numbers. You have an old rotary phone in your room. That's cool. It's like a really like. There's a lot of the old technology that like even if functionally it doesn't make sense to have it anymore. It's just kind of cool to have. Okay, this is very geeky too, but like like I'm into music production a bit, so I know that there's like it's same thing like there's like keyboards and stuff on your phone, right? But there's something about sitting on an actual piano or an actual synthesizer and like twiddling the knobs, pressing the actual keys. That it just feels nice, right? Reading an actual book, flipping the pages, smelling the paper, feeling that texture on your hands, right? The analogness of it is very, I think, like so much of our senses is about like touch, right? And smell and everything like that, and feeling. And you don't really get that with touchscreens, right? So at least not yet. We're not yet in the Matrix completely. Soon though, but yeah. Coffee, I say everybody jumping in on this. I know I'm a bit of a coffee addict. I think we got a lot of coffee, tea, caffeine lovers here. Pretty little jar, hide everything else, use just the jar. Some cubes of sugar, pretty little vase potentially. Nice little metal coffee thing, and it dies? What dies? Wait, what? You're kidding me. You mean to tell everything? Why does this die? How come only... Okay. The countertop coffee service, but it has a container of tea bags. Yeah, that's Hodgefon's hot chocolate. Hot chocolate, yeah. So it's Hodgefon's hot chocolate stuff. Take a sip, find out. Bean soup. We aren't in the Matrix as far as we know. That's true. We already could be in the simulation, and I definitely do kind of. That's a whole other conversation. Whether the simulation theory and everything, which I think is fascinating. But like, the heck, okay, here we go. I feel like this is the first major, like, new 9 out of 10 one, for me, at least, is why the hell is it only the tea bags on this thing that die? Why does the rest of this not die? It's this, they're all the same, they start off pretty much all the same texture. Like, this has the same texturing as this. Why the hell is this the only thing that dies? Because, like, I want this, but I want it, like, darker. I want it brighter or something. I guess the jar behind the tea bags is supposed to be coffee. Yeah, right? This is supposed to be, like, coffee grounds, question mark? To be honest, it looks a little gross. Not gonna lie. It doesn't quite look like coffee to me. It looks kind of, I think it's coffee grounds or something. Which is a little strange, but yeah, why is the jar metallic instead of glassy? Like, why isn't it see-through, right? Yeah, it's clearly a mason jar, which I love the idea of a mason jar being in the game, because I think that would be beautiful for modern builds, and like modern kitchens. This actually would as a mason jar go really well on our counter over here. But why the heck is it so metallic looking, and why is this the only thing that dies? Yeah, like the jar looks like there's condensation in it, right? Yeah, right. It looks like a little gross. Like, it looks a little bit like it's like maybe composting or something, right? It's a little alive. I don't know. It's a bit strange. Not how I would have done it. But that's fine. Okay. I mean, I can dig it though. I mean, it still overall offers a lot of possibility, and I could see a lot of people using this to really good effect in some builds. So I think that's really cool. Okay, here we go. Fondue? Oh yeah, there we go. Cheese fondue. Which makes me want fondue, because this does look delicious. Although the food looks a little plasticky, maybe? That's nitpicking completely, because I know, you know, it'd be hard to texture these to a degree, but like, it looks a little plasticky. I'm not convinced that this is the best texturing they could have done. Feed me this entire platter. Yeah, no, I mean, conceptually, I want to eat all of this. But I think, again, I'm nitpicking here, but if I had to critique this a little bit, it does look a little bit on the plastic side for me. I feel like there could have been a bit of better texture to this. Do you know what I mean, right? Because like some textures like this looks very convincing. Even like the coffee thing we just saw, right? I mean, okay, we have our issues with the jar maybe and stuff, but like the texturing on this does look very convincing. This looks like a very real item. I think this looks a little bit plasticky. Fisher Price play food? Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. They went a bit hard in the shading. Yeah, it's definitely good. No, but yeah, like I think that's a good point out middle, where it's like that the shadowing here is like really intense, which makes it look a bit fake or something. Like, it's, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a strange choice with the way they shaded / lit this thing, but overall though, I think that's really cool. You could obviously hide everything and just have the nice pot on your stove. So this could be easily hidden behind a custom stove, and now you have just like a casserole or something that's baking in an oven, or something that's, you know, soup on the stove. And an alternative to the pot of cream stew. And I do wonder if this thing, when you consume this set, because it's tabletop food, if you consume this, if you just get a really nice clean pot or a clean tray here, I really hope so. I really hope that these fondue picks don't go inside this, because then you can use this as just like a really nice dish. And then you can put whatever else you want in it instead too. You can empty this, have like a really nice cast iron pot or cast iron skillet basically, and then you can put whatever else you want in there instead of the fondue. So if anybody has one of these, okay, cool. Maple / Noah, if anybody has one and wants to go make one and test it out for us, let me know. Is this, do we get a cast iron pot here that's clean, or do the fondue picks and other shit go inside here? Me too, I'm praying for a nice clean pot. Oh, here you go, that's cute. Okay, coconut water. Okay, that's kind of fun. Okay, here's another one that's a little specific, but I think for what it is, it's really nice. Could be really nice for custom flower arrangements or making G-Post studios. I definitely... Can this die? No, it cannot. Oh, the cheese fondue can die, though. Wait a second. I'm guessing it's the tray that can die? That's interesting. The cheese fondue set can die. What dies? Oh, the tray dies, yeah. So if we consume the cheese fondue, do you get an empty tray? And... Okay, I could see someone using that to affect... Even just floating it up too, right? Like using this as a nice circular something circular detail on the ceiling. And because it dies, you have just like a nice clean circle. So that could be very useful for something. That's interesting to know for anybody who wants to use the cheese fondue as a little very flat circular ceiling fixture. It will die, and it dies very nicely. Like, it really takes the die... It looks a little plasticky again, but it takes the dies very well. Okay, the coconut water cannot die, though. But I definitely could see this being something for, like, G-Pose, maybe. That flower is really bright. Cute. Put a straw in another glass of some sort. Could use it for a custom flower arrangement. I'm curious because someone's going to end up using this for something really amazing and creative that I'm not thinking of. But I do wonder if this one's a little limited. Okay, here we go. Once again, you could use the bottom of it for something with this as like a ceiling light fixture or something. But I think there's better options than this. At least in my personal opinion. But Okay, yeah, I mean, surprise me. Someone is going to do something really cool with that. They always do. Okay, here we go. Oh, wow. Oh, that's interesting. Imitation skylight. What time is it? It's 12 a.m., so we don't have any of the light rays shining through. But okay, what does this look like on the back? Wait, you're kidding me. Is this another one of those that can't be placed on the freaking stage panel? Why? Why do this? Where can I place this that I can look at this? Oh, look there. There's the lights coming through. Why in the hell? Okay, hold on. We can figure this out. What does this look like on the back? Where'd it go? There it goes. There we go. Okay, so it's the same on the back. Oh, not quite the same, actually. The stone edge around the edge is much less detailed on the back. So on the front here, you got that little design on the border, and on the back, it's different. So that could be nice. This is the back side here I could see being used for the more clean castle look, and then like this side is more detailed. Also, just having like more round windows is kind of cool. I'm sure that'll be really useful layering wise. It's a little weird, or not weird, but like I kind of wish that the stained glass looked aesthetically like it was a little bit closer to the other stained glass. You know what I mean? Like this, like how this is textured and how that looks, right? The way they did the glass on this and this panel, like, is a little bit more luminous looking. It looks a little bit more glassy or luminous to me than this one that doesn't... I guess it is luminous, but it's a little bit... I don't know. Somehow it doesn't feel quite as glass-like or something. It looks like a really beautifully backlit, painted, like piece of artwork to me, and not quite as glass-like. Like this one is really good in terms of the glassiness, I think. The stained glass look. I kind of would have personally preferred if this stained glass appearance matched a bit closer to this one in the aesthetic. But that's totally like a personal choice. Oh, and it's clean. Perfect. You posted in the Discord? Or you'll post in the Discord in a moment. I see. Beautiful. It's clean. So we're talking. The thing that's clean is the fondue set, right? So we get a beautiful little skillet here. So it deletes the pot of cream stew on my stove to replace with the fondue pot. Hell yeah. Yeah. That's a really nice cast iron skillet, basically. So, or cast iron pan? I don't know. I think skillet maybe is the right word. But yeah, I like this. I think I like this, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of very cool uses that people do with layering with that. I don't know how much I will use it in my builds particularly, but I could definitely see a lot of cool use with that. Let's see here. Wondrous wind door. Whoa. Whoa, okay. That's interesting. Custom door, here we go. That's a nice looking door. And can this open? Okay, so this door, has anybody crafted one? Can we activate the door and open and close it? And is it, I'm seeing again that it doesn't automatically open and close. So similar to the Gale door, do you, is it a toggle similar to the locker, right? I'm guessing that's what it is. I'm guessing this functions just like the locker, where we get to interact with it and it opens and closes. This door, everybody's excited about this door. Yo, what's up, by the way, Selena? What's up, Crummy Kid? Welcome back to the stream. the slot efficiency on this, right? Yeah. Boom, instant. We finally have a clean door that doesn't come with the giant partition, which is wonderful. And it's wall mounted, which makes it extremely easy to place, although it will snap to walls. But I like, though, that then this means the door can be placed at any level in the house really easily. Like in the middle of a room, floated down even. You could have a little window really low here. This also, let's see, what does the back of this look like? Okay, so it's basically the same on both sides. A little more ornate on the front, right? The two side pillars or structural elements are cleaner on the back, right? So this is like super clean on the back. Yeah, honestly, really fantastic item. Also because it's a wall mounted, we can push this into the floor even on in an apartment to use just the top of this, for example, for a countertop or other things. So I think just the top section of this door, right? Like this top area will be very useful for a lot of people, especially in expanding what you could do in an apartment. It's a very low-hanging desk for one, if you just push it into the floor. Is the door handle on the back too? It's a good question. I don't know. Let's see here. The door handle is not on the back. Excuse me. Looks like the door handle is not on the back, which is a little weird. Then, but right. Let's look here. Yeah. I'm trying to get a view of this thing. Oh, wait, maybe I should put, can I put wood slats down? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, where'd the door, oh, there we go, wondrous door. Yep, no handle on the back of the door. Okay, that's interesting. Bit strange. Thank you for blessing me, everybody. So maybe so it can double as a window. True. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see that being kind of like a, oh, damn it, you know, like why I want to see the handle on both sides. But I could also see, as Middle's pointing out, the Middle pointing out, I see what I did there accidentally. I could see how, yeah, that could be used just as a window or something. So it allows for versatility. So yeah, I like it. And it dies, which is very cool. Oh, that looks a little, that's interesting. Okay, so the whole thing doesn't die. You get a little bit of the trim still. Ooh, that window is kind of pretty. The window look is very nice. Oh, it's very bright there. That's interesting. It seems like it dies pretty well, which is very good. Texture is a little, I'm not sure how I feel about the wood texture on it. It looks a little bit low res, right? Like it's a little muted looking on the texture, if I had to nitpick. But honestly, overall, pretty good. Ooh, that's a nice look with the little gold trim there. Could use them to make a stylized island counter too. Yes, absolutely. Right, yeah, exactly. Like using the tops and stuff here, you could make like an island counter, or you could, yeah, I could see a lot of really cool uses for this. I see what people were saying where they were telling me I'm going to be really excited about the items this round because they're very versatile. Because this is it's definitely true. Here we go. Okay, now the Korpacher chronometer. Let's see here. Oh, interesting. Okay. And it dies. Dyes very well. The little droplets. Interesting. Okay, here's an item where I feel like it's pretty specific because it's so detailed in its theming. It's really cute. It's very cute, and I think it's perfect for just being exactly basically what it is. I could see someone using this as modern art in a way, right? Like using some of the leaf designs and stuff, dyeing it different colors, layering it together with some stuff, and you get when you can't see the clock aspect of it on the backside here, you just get all the detailing. So if this was pushed into some like art, like you could make this into wall art or something like that. And someone, again, will come up with some extremely creative use for this, I'm sure. But I think I feel similar to this one about how I feel about the Chocobo clock that we got last time, where it's a little like, because it's so themed, it makes it a little bit harder to maybe use it. But again, someone's going to find an amazing creative way to use it, for sure. Absolutely. Let's see. What? Okay. Hanging oh my goodness. Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay. I love it. Can this die? Oh man, you can dye the branch too. Oh boy. This is really good. Yeah, okay. You put a whole bunch of these next to each other and make like a whole like, you know, treescape looking thing. You can hide this and only have parts of the branches showing. You can just have the different pots showing. They're not all linear, so they're not all next to each other, right? So like over here, these planters, it's like 3 in a row, but they're all next to each other and they're very close to this. They're all like on the same plane though, right? So I really like this one puts them all at different, like, three-dimensional space, right? It's like XYZ axis, they're all uniquely positioned from each other. It adds a lot of depth instantly to, I think, a room, right? If you were just hang this somewhere, I mean, right? Like that adds so much dimensionality and interest to the room. Although I wouldn't put it right there, obviously, but, you know, that, like, just the fact that they're not on the same plane, that adds so much depth and visual interest to a room and to decoration. Plants, right? Plants are life. Literally. Oh my god, the forestry builds would be so nice. Yeah, right, Noah? You need 1 million of these? I agree. I love it. I think there is so much you can do with this item. I think it's simple enough that it's very applicable to lots of different styles and types of builds. I think that it pairs well with itself as well as the other greenery. You know, someone's going to use just the trunk aspect of it too, the branch aspect, and do some really cool stuff, I'm sure. I think it's really great. I would love to see more items like this. So like between this and them giving us the ivy curtain last time, I love it. I think they're adding in really, really well designed and thought out greenery pieces. This is what I'm talking about, by the way. Ivy curtain, right? So like adding this last time and then now adding this new greenery piece, like, damn, this is fantastic. I love it. I'm very, very happy with that. And I see that I think I'm going to be happy too with this next one. Let's see what this is. Climbing ivy. Okay, admittedly, less happy than maybe I thought I would be. But similarly, really nicely detailed greenery that looks very convincing, and it's simple enough. I'm so thankful that for the most part, even though let's see here, like this one too, there's the little beads on the planters. It's not the end of the world by any means. I do personally wish that the beads weren't there, because I think that does ever so slightly ruin some chance of it being super clean. It's really cute though. It's a really cute detail, honestly. I wish, this is an example of where I do wish that we could do a toggle on some of these items where it's like, I want the cutesy little touches on it, but similar to like your visor or something, right? I wish you could click a button and the beads would go away, but then the structure of everything else would stay the same. Similar to, for example, like the whiteboard or the blackboard that we just got last time, right? Like, I really wish we had a toggle. What was it? Is it called a blackboard? It's this one, right? Like, same thing here. I love this. I think it's really cool, and there's a lot of versatile use for it. But I do wish we could click a button and the drawings on it would clear, and it would just be a plain blackboard, you know? That would be really, really nice. But that's fine. Honestly, it's a nitpicking thing. But I really like here that this is actually just greenery, right? Similar to Verdant Partition, where it's just green. There's no random little like chocobo plushie hanging here or something. It's just actual plant life. So from that regard, I really like this, and I think this can be used. If you use it really precisely, it could be really, really good and very, very useful. And it does not die though. So this one does not die. It's just green, plain as it is. Still though, I like the texture on that. I really like the look of that overall. Heidelin as we know her. Okay, this might be spoilery. So I don't know for a fact. I've never seen this item, but just reading this, it's based off of MSQ, I think, related stuff. So if you haven't completed Endwalker or oh, it's not a spoiler? It's not a spoiler. Okay, well, so not a spoiler, but in case anybody is like maybe brand new to the game or something, if you're at all concerned about the spoiler, look away for like the next 3 minutes or something, you know? Oh, okay, never mind. Heidelin the world. Okay, it's literally a map. It's literally a map of the realm. And what does the back look like though? Oh. Aha! Big old paper wall with a nice texture. Can this die? Nope. This is not dyeable, but it does have a nice texture on the back. And somebody's going to use this for a beautiful little backsplash. So, really pretty looking backboard. I see, oh, corkboard, says Neon Fox. Yeah, I could see that. Lovely map. It is a really nice map, too. Like, just at face value, it's a very nicely detailed map. Hold on, one moment, guys. Let me go grab some more water. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Hello. Okay. Okay, so just a map. Oh, thank you everybody for the hydrates. I appreciate that. Everybody should have a sip of water if you haven't already. Hit the posture check button like you're not sitting like a shrimp. It's okay, yeah. All of us, everybody, straighten up, have a little stretch, maybe go, you know, grab a bottle of water or something, or, well, not a bottle ideally. Conserve, don't use plastic ideally. But sipping on my coffee and having some water as well. Okay. Right back into it. Okay, so Heidelin as we know her. Interesting way to frame that, like by calling the item that, but here we go. Okay. Wall-mounted wings? Whoa. Okay, well, obvious G-pose heaven. This is just those wings that are like everyone does on Instagram, right? Basically, like in Los Angeles or New York and stuff, where they paint them on the wall somewhere. This literally feels like it was 100% made for G-pose, right? It's this exactly, right? That being said, of course, some people will use this to wonderful effect for all kinds of other things, layering them together, using just the feathers maybe. Can this die? It can die. Oh my goodness. Dark. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Wow. Black wings. Gold wings maybe? No, it doesn't pick up metallics, but still. You know. That is wow, that's really cool. I will say that's I feel like I've not really seen very many housing items that scream to me that the devs are like specifically aiming this at G-pose. You know what I mean? But like this item very specifically seems like someone was like, hey, we need to throw the G-pose people a bone here. I mean, obviously it's great for lots of other things potentially too, but like, do you guys know what I mean, right? Where like, I feel like there's a lot of items that feel very like, you could put this in a G-pose studio setup, but this one particularly is like built for photos. And that doesn't often happen, I feel like. So congrats to all the G-pose people, and people are gonna love this and have a field day, I'm sure. There we go. There's the thumbnail maybe. Cool, I like it. And I think this is a fantastic item. I think it's really nicely detailed, honestly. And I would love to see them expand on this idea of giving some like props that really work well for G-pose people. I love it. I think they should continue doing that. Oh, and the fact that they made it dyeable too. Wonderful. Ooh. Okay. I feel like they've been giving us a lot of curtains lately, which is interesting that they would give us yet another curtain. But I gotta say, I really like the shaping on this one, the modeling on this, the way that the light, the way that this thing is textured here. It looks very real. It looks very convincing. Let's see how this thing dies. Okay. Oh, this is really pretty. Really subtle here. I wonder if the same person who made that planter made this too, because they put the little beads and stuff. I love that little trim. I really like that that's very subtle. Right? Like, but that's really nice. I really do like the trim on that. Let's see here, some more dyes. Okay. Yeah, it dyes very, very nicely. Really, honestly, it's a great item. I think, there you go. There's another custom door handle for you right there too. Easy door handle. right? And the other direction there. So for your custom doors, super easy door handle. I think this curtain could be, you know, mirrored to create actual stage setups. I think you could use the edges of this to just have little bits of this hanging down from something. I think there's a lot of versatility to this. And I think this is a really nice addition to the whole curtain collection of stuff that they've been giving us lately. Very cool. Okay, excited. Oh man. Oh boy. Wow, that's really cool. Can this die? No, it cannot die. Okay, but that is so cool. Okay, I really like this. And I really like this, especially because, I mean, if you know me, then you know that I like the things I'm probably most proud of building is like nightlife kind of venues and stuff. And this adds so much needed movement but like lighting movement to things like venues and stuff, right? I mean, I think this would be maybe a little bit, well, actually, okay. I could see this being really useful for a holiday theme party, right? Like Christmassy starlight theme parties. But more importantly, I feel like for venues and stuff, right? A lot of times you kind of want to inject some energy into the room. And that's something that is a bit hard to do with the current housing items because a lot of them are very static. They don't move, and a lot of the lights, they don't sway. The light doesn't move around the room that much, and without putting windows in, light isn't really moving around a lot. So I think that it's really cool though to have lights and stuff that are blinking and moving, because it just adds so much visual interest, right? You walk into a room and you have a couple of these on the wall, and it really just brings the whole place to life and adds a lot of energy into it. So I think atmosphere-wise, this is a big win in my opinion, because I see this adding a lot of energy to a room that I often struggle to add to the room. Sani Kitsani. First of all, welcome to the stream. First time chatter I see. Welcome, welcome. Can use the end of it for spaceship builds. That's true too, yeah. 100%. Oh, 100% too. And like the fact that the stars are on this side and that it's 3D, right? So on the back, if you just flip this thing around, then you just have all the beautiful little, the circle lights. Extremely, extremely cool and useful for at a spaceship build, you know, just adding cool, well, they're not blinking. Okay, just the stars are blinking. So the dome lights are not blinking. But still, the fact that they look that way is really cool. Does this emit actual light though? Like, is this actually illuminating anything? I don't think so, right? This is not actually lighting up. Yeah, I think that would have been too much to have it dynamically light up stuff. Yeah, see, it's not. It's similar to the Glade Lantern in that it has a sphere of light around it. I'm doing air quotes that you can't see, but it does not actually emit light that's illuminating stuff. But still, that's really cool. I still really like that. It's you, Zavina! What's up? Hello, hello. Hi, Zavina. Welcome back to the stream. And yeah, Lime is saying more stars for Orbit, Aramore? Aramore, are you aware of this item and for Club Orbit? Which is open tonight, by the way. It's you! Hi Zavina. And what flooring is this? Oh, are you talking about like literally the flooring here in my house? It is the Riviera flooring, which is you can purchase from the housing NPC. It is, yeah, Riviera flooring, 5,000 gil. So, go crazy. It's very nice, right? It's like a very nice wood texture. Let's see. Where was I left off? There. There. Exciting neon wall light. It definitely is exciting. And I really like it. I think, again, I can just see... I anticipate this showing up all over the place in a lot of the nightclubs now. Here we go. Natural wood beam. Oh boy. Okay. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Another structural element that is very simple, has no extra ornamentation, no extra design to it. There's no chocobos carved in here. It's simple. Does it die too? Oh man, and it dies. Okay, here we go. Every kind of wood that you can think of, for the most part. I do wish now they would give us also this is like knobby wood, but I wish they would give us like a clear board that's the same size basically. Hopefully that's coming down the line sometime. But fantastic. I love it. I love it. This is going to open so many doors for so many people to build really interesting stuff. Yo, what's up, Clips? Welcome back to the stream. Zavina's saying, I'm gonna make a new FC room, so I'm looking for ideas. Can't decide if I want colorful or fun or like clean modern. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, there's so many choices, so many new items to use and so many choices and stuff. So, Mia, yeah, same here. I love this beam. Liara knows want to use, do with that pillar. Yeah, exactly. I think every housing designer probably sees this item. Every designer who really does a lot of like layering and stuff like that and custom stuff, I think everybody's probably like super in love with this, just because there's a ton of possibility with this. Again, this is wonderful. Probably one of my favorite items in this whole collection of stuff we just got. Flagstone steps. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Oh, okay. Well, I like the back. I like the texture on the back of this better than I like on the front. I don't know what... Okay, I'm not a texturing expert, but something about the way this is textured looks a little bit too soft. Like, this looks like it's rock. This looks like rock that's been sheared away and has no repeating patterns, and it looks like, I mean, it's really nicely textured, honestly. Frankly, actually, I'm more excited about the back of this than I am about the front of this, but because this is a slanted rock texture that we can now use to make sloping walls of stone. So to me, I'm excited about this. And I like the texture on it too, because I think this looks a little bit weird on the texture. Is this dyeable? Maybe the dyes will help. Yeah, see, to me, it looks a little... this is another one that looks slightly too heavy-handed on the shadowing. See that? Like this? It's a little intense looking, which makes it look a little plasticky or something, I think. Yeah, I'm not... Okay. I really like the back. I like the front, but I wish it wasn't so plasticky looking. And this is similar to how I felt about the fondue set, where I think it's great. I know it's gonna have some fantastic uses for people's castle builds and Ishgardian builds and that kind of stuff. I just am not a super fan of the texture. This is absolutely nitpicking, but if I had to nitpick something, I wish we had the mason work counter kind of, or the stone texture, right? Like, what do you call it? The mason, this one, right? Like, I wish it was closer to like how beautiful this texture is. I wish it was this, but with the stone steps, right? Because I know probably a lot of people use this to make their custom stone steps to some degree. And actually, in my personal opinion, I don't know that I would necessarily replace that Because at first glance, I thought, oh wow, we instantly can replace and not have to use 5 of these to make stone steps. But actually, I'm not a big fan of the way these look, so I actually might still even use the mason steps. But I will use the back of this for sure. Let's see here. I could. Oh wow, hold on. There's a whole bunch of comments with this. Castle builds incoming. Steps look kind of cartoonish. Yeah, see, I agree, Liara. They look a little cartoony. Not enough noise. That's the term. There you go. It's not enough like distressing and noise on there, right? The shadows are too dark. Okay, I think we're all like, yeah, we definitely are all seeing eye to eye on that. The front texture looks like it's out of a comic book. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, it looks with the heavy shadows. It's got okay. Actually, yeah, Sani, that totally is, I think, on the nose of like. It reminds me of something you'd see in Borderlands, right? Yeah, Neon Fox. Okay, wow, I gotta just keep reading. Neon Fox saying the front is the Borderlands look, 100%. Here we are. Yo, what's up, Osiris? Welcome back to the stream. Glad you could make it again. But yeah, no, I think overall, I like where they're going with this item. I just wish that I hope that we don't lean too much into this whole Borderlands super intense shadowed, I don't know, black edges. Like, unless we're going to get like a whole bunch of items that look like that, but just because the rest of this world, this game doesn't look like Borderlands, I hope they don't continue this really heavy shaded look. Because I think it just doesn't really fit. And like, again, it's a little weird to me that there's this Borderlands hyper shadowing on this, but cell shaded, that's the term, right? It's cell shaded look. But on the back, it's like really, this is the kind of content I want here, right? This is the kind of content, not here. Borderlands though, for sure. Okay, next one. Let's see. Oh man, okay, once again, this is really nice. This reminds me of the snow loft they gave us. Look at that. Oh, cave builds. Beautiful, I love it. The texturing is not Borderlands-like. Fantastic. Maple, yeah, I'm super hyped about this too. This actually combined with the new steps, the backside of them, beautiful. And I think they fit together. The texturing and stuff, none of that Borderlands look. Fantastic. Lime saying, gonna be perfect for my secret witchy forest basement. Yeah, I'm very curious to see what you do with that, because I totally could see that. Honestly, the top too, actually, that's actually a really nice texture. I think, I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. Can this die? Oh, it can even die? Ooh, beautiful. Yes. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, absolutely beautiful stone walkway. And then you can change it to like make it a little bit die. That's okay. I do wish maybe the grout in between the stones could die a little bit closer to the rest of the die. That's nitpicking though. But like, yeah, look at that. You could make it more like sandy looking. So for like Oasis builds, you could get like more of this tone. You know, for cleaner modern builds, like this is like an entryway. Really beautiful texture. I gotta say, I really like this item. I think this is really, really extremely versatile. Every single face of this is beautifully textured. It dies well. It's a wall-mounted item. Look at that. Look at that detail. And no repeating pattern. Because I think we've talked about that too, where sometimes you get an item that is really nicely textured, but it clearly repeats the textured pattern. But I love that at least at glancing at this, not a single bit of this is repeated. It's genuinely just like rock, all crazy and sheared and stuff. Fantastic. Yo, what's up, Nimbus? Welcome back to the stream. It's gonna be perfect. Oh my god, yeah, right? Yo, I mean, seriously, this is really good. Oh, and the bottom too, right? The fact that this rock just dies, so you can make it a dark cave, or you can make it like white sandstone or something like that. Really fantastic. This might be one of my favorite items of the whole lot too. Versatility. Beyond Gloam's Veil. Oh, okay. Well, are we gonna get into a whole bunch of paintings here? Oh, this is really nice though. Kind of could use, I don't know about the eyes, you know? I think maybe we could inject some fun into some of the eyes here, probably. But, wow, these are really nice. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly like look at all these. Wow, these are really, I really like the painted look. I mean, giving us all of the scions now. Use it as they did. That is a stunning piece too. New portraits, yeah. Look at all these new portraits. Honestly, I also really like the art style. Whoever did a lot of these portraits. Oh, that one breaks away from that a little bit. That one looks a little different. It's a little bit not as painterly looking. It's a little bit flatter. Oh boy. Grah. Wow, these are great. I don't know what else to say about. Well, okay, actually, let's. I'm seeing they're not dyeable, and the frame though is the same in every single situation except it changes color. So if you want if you want to use the edges of these, it's 3D, right? Let's see. It is 3D, so the flags and everything do stick out away from the portrait. So you could hide the portrait itself and just use the back or just use the flags for something, and you could frame something else there. So that's very potentially useful, right? The edge of the frame is 3D, so you could easily cover up your Stola here and put some other like gestalt or something poking through in the front, or make your own custom artwork. So that's great. I like the detailing on these. I think these are beautifully illustrated. Whoever they commissioned to do the artwork for all of these portraits is great choices. Oh, I didn't show Thancred. There you go. There you go, Thancred. He's getting a little lost in the top there. His hair is blending in. This is Thancred, everybody. This is Thancred. Did you guys know? Yeah, I think it's really, this is great. I love these. I think that people can now put, I think, does this mean we now have everyone, like in terms of all of the scions at least? I think we, okay, I'm gonna quickly say some Endwalker's spoilery things. So tune out for 30 seconds if you haven't completed Endwalker, just because I'm gonna name some names. But like, I don't think we have some of the Ascians, right? In terms of portraits yet from Endwalker, like Hith. Or maybe, I think we have Emmett in his non-Endwalker form, but I don't know if we have his Endwalker form yet. So I bet you people would really love those. And maybe eventually we will get those. But Alfie Boy painted them? Is that the name of the artist? Alfie Boy? Here, let's see. Sonny's saying the quality is really nice compared to some of the older ones. Yeah, I agree. I really like the way that these were painted. The art style is really beautiful. I do really like. I mean, Yashol is always looking really nice. Like, she's always gorgeous, but I very much like their take on her here. And I like that for her portrait, she's very separated from the background. Like, it's very clear, her silhouette. I think that's what jumps out at me for her, right? Because, as we said, this is Thancred, but it's a little bit like this is Thancred who's in a snowstorm or something, right? Like, his hairline gets a little bit lost. So it's very pretty on from a painterly aspect, but I do kind of wish that maybe the artist knocked the background slightly a touch darker or something, so that his silhouette could pop a little bit more, you know? This one I think is okay because it's catching the light at least, right? It's clear that the light's coming in through here, so it looks like it's getting caught with the light. That's actually very pretty, the gradient that's going on here. Here and here and here. I do really like the way the artist did with the light catching on his hair and the light. It's interesting though, actually, the light color temperature changes really dramatically on this side, which does make it feel like a studio portrait where maybe there's some colored lighting happening. Because if this is sunshine coming in from this side, then it wouldn't really make sense that it would be golden hour and then suddenly have like this purpley tint to it. So that makes it feel a bit more like an artistic interpretation, or as if it's like studio lighting where there's dual lighting going on, right? There's a light and a dark happening. Because I think, right? I think that wouldn't make sense otherwise. Destite Mane, welcome to the stream. I see first time chatter and you agree. I think, are you agreeing? Let's see. Absolutely with you, Neon, my absolute favorite. Emmett, we have Emmett as Emperor. Yeah, I would die for Hith. Yeah, I think a lot of people would like a Hith photo or a portrait. But yeah, I do really, yeah, I mean, anything I could say about all of these, I think is like totally nitpicking for sure. Because overall, this is really cute, you know? That's super cute. See, again, I think if I had to nitpick anything about these portraits, it's a couple of spots here. Her feather is getting a little lost, right? Like, I didn't even notice that she had the feather in her cap when I first glanced at this, because it kind of, this line right here, it just completely melds into the background. And I think that's a bit odd. Let me rotate this slats really quick so that it faces the light. I think that'll be better. There we go. It was getting a little bit dark there for those portraits. Yeah, see, there we go. A little bit brighter. I think the light is a bit yellowy, yeah. So it's casting a bit of a yellow tint to this. But I wouldn't mind, yeah, seeing these be a bit, have a bit more contrast on some of the edges, except for like Gestola or something like that. But I do understand what the look they're going for. It's the very painterly look. Oh, see there, Alize, she pops pretty well from her background. A little bit right here, but Kryl. I think Kryl has a really strong silhouette there. Kind of wonder what's going on with her background. She looks like she's almost concerned. You know, like she's even like frowning a little bit. Like it looks. Is that a little like greenish almost? It almost looks like she's in some kind of like miasma or something. Like a little bit like evil or apocalyptic looking in her portrait. And then Graha, it's very nice, very, very, bit of an interesting, different take on it. Posture checks, thank you everybody, and the hydrate redeems. Everybody, have a drink of water if you have it near you. And Lime's saying it kind of fits with Thancred. That's true. he likes to try and hide with the background. That's true. His whole thing is stealth. So I could see an argument to be made that Thancred's should be a bit like he's a little bit blending in the background, right? Destite saying, is that how you, is that it? Destite mane? Or Destite main? How do you pronounce your name? I just want to get the pronunciation correct. But yeah, you need the Urianger one. I do really like the Urianger one. And I think we had one before of him, right? But we didn't have him in his sort of Shadowbringer's form, I think. He looks really good, though. That one's really cool. I really like the lighting on that one. It's very beautiful, painterly portrait looking thing. What are these next things here? Bill of Contrition? Are these spoilers? Oh. Interesting. Wait. Sorry? That says sorry, right? What does it say? Sorry? Oh, it's a cute little just blank piece of paper on the back. Wait, what's the difference between these? An illustrated apology issued in lieu of a receipt for a third-class plot of small size. Purchased with Gil, unintentionally refunded by lottery processing mishaps. Holy shit! 3 million? Yeah, look at that. Look at the shop selling price. Oh my god. I like that, Nimbus. Nimbus likes to imagine that all those portraits for the Scions were taken at a Sears photo center. Yeah, I like that. Honestly, I'm a big fan, really quickly, going back to this, big fan of painted backgrounds. Again, I think as long as there's a bit more separation, but I love painted backdrops. I think it's such a beautiful texture. It adds so much to portraits. But these are... Okay, but going back to this is pretty funny. These two, oh my gosh, I'm very sorry. This must be all the same too, and then this one is for the large. Forgive me. Holy shit. And for the price, shop selling price is the price of the small or the medium or large. Those that won a house but still got refunded. There's one for each house price. So they're just collector's items. It's basically... Wait, so can anybody buy these? Can anybody just go up and buy these? Or are these only gifted to certain people? Untradeable. Can you just go... Like, if I just had a bajillion gil, could I just go flex and, like, buy, like, 5 of these? Nimbus, I would pay real money for those posters. Honestly, actually, yeah, they're kind of cute, right? Like, it's kind of cute. As a little poster. That's pretty funny, though, they added that in. I like that one. That's cute. Oh my gosh, someone on Reddit showed their wall with all of them bought. I mean, I'm not surprised. Oh yeah, Mia saying the same thing. Not surprised. There's those people who are gillion bajillionaires, right? Who bought like, I'm sure. It's chump change to them. That's tight main. Oh, that's interesting. Wait, what the heck? Highlighted message. Why does the I thought the highlighted redeeming the highlighted message would like highlight it, like in like the bright white. I'm sorry, Savina. I'm sorry I didn't see that earlier. Because like at first time chatters and stuff, it boxes it for me and it like really makes it pop. That's strange that the highlight the message doesn't really actually jump out at me as much. Okay, I'll have to watch for that more. But I thought I read it as similar to the posture and the hydrates because it came like right after those. Okay, gas tight main. How you say it. Got it. Got you. That's tight, man. Gotcha. I was interpreting it as like, it's speaking like as a different language, but yeah. I'm never quite sure with, like that's the thing. That's why I ask, because I'm never quite sure if someone's name is like supposed to be like Japanese, like reading it like a Japanese name or something, or like a, I don't know, some fantasy kind of name, or if it's like a play on words, or like in this case, right? Like, that's tight, man. Thank you, though, Zavina, for clarifying that for me. I appreciate that. And I'm sorry, guys. I do apologize if I missed any of your highlighted messages. I will make sure to watch for that more carefully. But yeah, thank you, Zavina. Cool. Wow. Okay. I gotta say, yeah, really strong collection of items that they gave us this time around. Wow. This patch, I gotta say, Island Sanctuary so far, I mean, I haven't done necessarily everything there is to offer with there yet, right? But like, so far, Island Sanctuary seems really solid, really cool. They gave us all these items. They gave us new story content. They gave us new raid gear, which looks phenomenal. Like the new dance or the new Titania extreme weapons look beautiful. The butterfly effect, absolutely gorgeous. Man, this is a really good patch, I gotta say. Are you guys all what do you guys think about this patch? Like, look at this. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to use this. There's actually so many items here in this set of housing items that I'm really excited to try using. This, the hanging branch, climbing ivy. I'm sure someone's going to use this and make it something really nice. Curtains too. Oh, this thing, right? Exciting neon wall lights. These, oh, the stone. Oh man, these, yeah, like this stone stuff. Oh, this is amazing. Question for anybody who has one of these though. Does this bed meta? I don't think it'll block the camera, right? I'm sure it's probably coded just like every other loft, right? I doubt that this blocks your camera. Seeing all these items helped mitigate the feeling of crushing a bunch of materia while setting up my crafter again. Ah, yeah. That's true. Oh, yeah. Trying to meld your materias, right, Neon? And Mia says the patch has been amazing. I feel so catered to overall. Yeah, right? I feel like this patch really has a lot to offer for like everybody, right? If you're into like the combat stuff, then you got the raid stuff that just came out, and you got some sick gear for that. If you're into housing, you got that. If you don't even have a house, you got an island sanctuary and a whole nother set of things to do there. Like, really fantastic. Oh, let's go outside too. Lime, we're gonna go outside. I want to see the yard items too, since why not? Why not, right? And Katali, yes, exactly. I did not do the outdoor furnishing yet. I'm about to do that right now. Wish you could mirror things. Definitely, yeah. Zavina's saying, wish you could mirror stuff. I agree. I wish you could mirror items, and I wish you could flip them upside down, right? Like you could rotate them on the like around it, so that like lanterns, for example, could face downward instead of upward and stuff like that. That'd be really nice. Right, and imagine that you could invert the neon lights and stuff so that they could be mirrored with each other. Would be beautiful. Oh, by the way, yeah, in case anybody missed the previous stream, here's Gertrude. She's a little Gertrude the Glamazoo, as I've been calling her. This was the fun little thing that we came up with last time on stream. So she's adorable. We love her. Wish the island wasn't behind Endwalker Wall. Yeah, that is true. It's unfortunate a little bit that the Island Sanctuary is locked, though, behind Endwalker. But it's okay, something to look forward to when you get to the end of Endwalker. There's lots to do up till then. No one knows where the loft or the stairs come from yet. Oh, interesting. Maybe it's subs then or something? Or maybe Island Sanctuary, like once you get far enough, you have to unlock it? Yep, getting ready to make the new raid food from Ecstatic. Ah, okay. Yeah. Gertrude the Glamazoo. I did a Twitter post about this, about her, and I'm gonna maybe do a second one where I kind of wanted to get like a clip with the fireworks going off with her. But yeah, she's a little extra big, so that's actually 2 Namazu effigies. So she's a little extra wide. And then, you know. So cute. Always here to help, always ready. Okay, well with Gertrude in the background there, let's look here at the outdoor items that we got. Boop-a-doo. Look at this. Oh, nice. Okay. Camping tent. With... Okay, and it's emitting light. That's nice. And you can dye this, I'm guessing? Oh, beautiful. Okay, and it dyes beautifully. Oh, it dyes very well, actually. Yeah. Well, that's great. Simple tent that you can then put other stuff inside. I like that. I think that's great. Looks like very modern too. It's like a much more modern looking, or maybe not modern, but it's definitely a bit cleaner looking than some of the other stuff that we've gotten. And I like that. It's kind of in between a fantasy tent and a modern, almost like, it almost reminds me of the like Coachella glamping tents or something, you know? Like it's a pop-up tent, so it's definitely not, it's not like super built out, but it does look like a little bit fancier than normal. Very cute. There we go. Got Lime here sitting inside it. Cute. Sorry, Lime. I'm gonna pop you out of there in a second here, though. Damaged Highland turret. Okay. I guess it's, yeah. Wow, that's a huge piece of furniture they gave us. Cool. This definitely goes along with the other Ishgardian distressed wall that they gave us. I like this. I could see this being extremely versatile to fill out the yard and create some structure around it, especially if you like rotate like this. Maybe have a couple of them, you have a wall. Yeah. Has the steps to get up to this area. I do kind of wish, again, that they would give us more of this type of stuff, these structural elements, but maybe not so destroyed. And in a couple different styles. Like, I'd love to get some that are Hingan looking, right? Or some that are Gridanian looking. You know, I love that they gave us these Ishgard versions, and now that makes me think I'd love to see a Gridanian rampart or a Limsa Liminza kind of, you know, looking thing. And can you put furniture inside it? Yeah, of course you can. I mean, well, you could just clip stuff into it, right? I think. So. Does this die as well? That one doesn't die. Okay. Shoveled snow. Oh, whoa. Well, perfect for Christmas. Oh, whoa, hey. And the shoveled snow is NPC vendor. Only 4,000 gil. Wow, just in time for the holidays. That's great. I wonder if standing on it lets you do the snowball throw? I don't think so, but maybe. But this is great. Perfect for your Winter Wonderland builds for when we hit the holiday season. And yeah, I think that's really cool. I actually kind of wish there weren't so many shovels in there, if I had to make one small comment about that. But honestly, that's totally fine. It makes a lot of sense. Very nicely textured and looks pretty convincing. I like it. Can you throw from it? Yeah, exactly. That was my question, Zavina, right? Is like, can you do the slash throw? Ooh, a wall, another wall. I wish it wasn't. Wait, can I turn up the brightness out here for a second? Hold on. Okay, a little bit. There we go. Bumping up the brightness ever so slightly to maybe see, because it's quite dark right now. I wish it was light time, daytime. Oh, this is nice though. I like this. Perfect for like when you have spas here, right? Like a screen, changing screen or something like this. In fact, that might even be what I do, like just like that, right? Because then you go back here and you change and then you go over to the hot spring. I like this. This is, so far, this is my favorite one. Favorite piece we have out here. Because it's simple, very versatile, gives us another wall, easy wall to work with. Does it die? It dies too. Oh, you can dye the bamboo. Beautiful. Look at that. Perfect. I love it. More of this. Now give us the Ishgard version of this, right? Like the... Okay, so that's interesting, right? Like, yeah, like giving us... They gave us like the opening swinging Ishgard gate last time, but then they didn't give us any walls to go along with the gate. And then now they give us like this wall and I don't know, this like... Collectively, they're giving us what I want, right? Which is pieces of walls as well as big building structures in different styles. So I am thankful for that. I just hope that they continue with that. And for example, we get a Hingen version of the swinging gate. This one, right? Like this, they gave us this beautiful gate, which is absolutely fantastic. But then they didn't give us like a segment of wall to go with that, which I thought was a little bit strange. And now they gave us a bamboo wall, and so it's like, yes, do this, but give us some Ishgard stone, you know, that isn't all blown up and distressed. I think that'd be really nice. So can you throw from it? Yes, you can. Teague, are you trying it right now? Can you throw snowballs from the shoveled snow? Let's see here. Camping furniture, and it's dyeable. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Ooh, that dyes really nicely, too. Wow, okay. I like this. I think that cot is a little bit interesting. This almost looks like a stretcher. For like a medical tent or something. But this is cute. This looks like a director's chair too, right? This looks like on the movie sets. This totally has that look of like the movie director chairs where you have the name back here. Which is interesting because the table with all the camping stuff here, this absolutely does look like camping to me. but the chair looks like a movie director's chair, and then this looks like a medical tent stretcher. This looks like three themes mashed together to me. Does anyone else see that? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you see what I'm saying? Where I feel like this is a little bit of like a... They feel like they belong in almost like different themes or something. Which, again, that's totally nitpicking, because honestly, I think it's great. It's very well modeled. It looks really good. It dies really well. But it does feel a little strange to me. But that also is maybe my own personal bias coming in based off of my own camping experience and gear. Perhaps other people do have camping chairs that look exactly like this. Or maybe like, because it's a Japanese company, perhaps in Japan, their camping gear looks more like this. Someone shout out if that is the case. I'm very curious. Finally, Neon Fox saying is finally excited for outside chair and table sets. Yeah, exactly. I think it's great that they're adding more of this stuff. And instead of it being 3 separate items, it's one single item. So I do think that's really great. If only they had split those into 3 items, that would be amazing. Yeah, like, I guess this is another case where like, it's kind of cool that because we're so limited on slots outside, like this is really nice that you get 3 for the price of 1. But also I could see a lot of people being like, I only really care about the table, or I only really care about the chair, right? And that's totally, like, definitely with the limitations of like hiding stuff outside in terms of like clipping stuff into each other, it would be kind of hard to use this chair without this table. Because, for example, you could push the rest of all of this into the wall, and then you could just have the bench sticking out, right? So like you could do basically this, right? And then you could have the chair gone, but you couldn't do... It'd be a little... You could do this. You could do this for sure. But I was thinking, like, if you just wanted the chair, you basically have to have it with the table, which is a little bit of an unfortunate thing, because I could see someone doing, like, outside glamour contests and wanting the director's chair. In fact, I could see people really wanting this director's chair inside the house, because of, like, when we do, like, glamour contests or, like, theater shows and stuff, or, you know, people even... Yeah, I mean, theater shows, movie sets, bard performances. Having the director's chair would be a really cute thing for like the head of the house or the head of the FC to be able to sit in, you know? Or all of the judges, right? All the judges sit onto like the right side of the stage, and they're all in like these director's chairs. So, Square Enix, if you're listening to this, give us this same director's chair, but put it inside. In fact, I could honestly see uses for all 3 of these inside. Quite a lot. Like, that's really nicely detailed. Look at that. Let's have a closer look at this. Look at that. Look at the detailing on that fire. That fire is beautiful. That's so realistic looking. The egg looks a little bit plasticky, but I really like the fire there. And the little like whole like grill and everything. A little strange that all of these are exactly the same color. Beautiful though, yeah. Really cool. My parents had camping chairs like that, so I might be biased. Ah, so Neon Fox, you do have the director seat camping chairs. Got it. Neltron, if anything, I could see using the cot for infirmary after shoving the table and chair into the wall. Yes, exactly. This 100% this looks like an infirmary chair, which combined with the tent that they gave us is total Coachella vibes or something. It's like the medical tent, you know? It's the medical tent right here, and then you have the, like, okay, 100% easy combo setup, medical tent here, and you shove the chair and the table into the wall and only have the 2 medical cots right here. And then you have the infirmary area, basically, outside. Easy combo. Just dye the tent red, right? There you go. Boom. Medical tent. And actually, that works nicely too if you're using the new snow stuff, right? Because then like you could make, that kind of looks like the medical, it could easily be like in the snow as well, right? So, and I think it'd be really nice with the red tent popping up out of the snow, like you do when you go to ski resorts and stuff. So that could be really cool. Friends, you can throw snowballs while standing on the shoveled snow. Oh, nice. So there we go. Maple's confirming for us. You can throw snowballs while standing on the snow. Beautiful. And Zavina is saying, yeah, some of us haven't been to Coachella. Correct, yeah. And I haven't been actually to the VIP area of Coachella, but I'm just basing it off of photos I've seen of like them advertising the glamping areas of Coachella. So you can always look it up. And I think the infirmary medical tents and stuff too also look pretty similar at a lot of music festivals, the outdoor ones. So I think a lot of them would be similar in aesthetic. Ooh. Oh my goodness. That's beautiful. Oh darn, it can't die. I wish it could die, but I really enjoy this pillar. This makes me wish we had more Elpis stuff inside. Like I want this bush inside. Look at that detail on that. I want this bush inside. I want this pillar inside, in fact. I really want this pillar inside. So many outdoor wedding receptions using that. Yeah, right? Oh man. Yeah, no, 100%. I could totally see this being used for weddings and everything like that. It's beautiful. It's a little bit of a pity that the pillar can't be dyed. But yeah, no, I like it. Please give us all the Elpis stuff forever. Yeah, right? Including Hith. Exactly. What is this? A Chocobo Stable Essentials? The like ribbing or whatever, like the texture on these beats reminds me of bugs. These look like giant grubs to me at first glance, which is a little like EBGBs. I see what they're going for there, but I know it's like roots, right? So roots have that kind of like ribbed look. I don't know. The way it's textured though, it looks like grubs. It's okay though. I mean, that's just me. Maybe that's just my first impression. It's just my honest thought is it kind of reminded me of that, but I like it. I mean, I think also because like the Chocobo feed is like, I think more of like the carrot looking one that you usually feed, crocker root, and it's usually much more orangey, like a carrot, you know? So interesting. Oh, they got a little broom there too. Kind of cool. Could be nice to have that broom inside. In fact, it would be nice to have this inside because then you could use this for boarded up windows for haunted houses, right? This would be so perfect for boarded up. Oh, actually, well, okay. Without using something to get this to float, but like, I mean, I could see people using this as boarded windows for haunted houses, which you cannot do in the base game. We cannot really float items outside, but I'll let people do with that what they may, right? Because yeah, if you floated this up, that's totally boarded windows. Could be very useful. I actually really wish that we had this, yet another of these things inside. That'd be really nice. Eastern well. Oh, wow, okay. A boarded up Eastern well. Can this be dyed? Nope. Oh, wait, what? What is dying? Oh, the roof. The roof. The roof. Interesting. Okay. I like this. I want this structure inside. I want to use this inside. So many of these things I want to use inside. I would like also just this little pattern with the like Eastern cross hatching thing. Oh, I want this inside. This as a piece of wall for using as like a trimming on a wall or something would be so beautiful. But I like this. I might use this in my yard here because it fits with the whole Eastern thing. See, here we go. And Eastern lamppost. Oh, that's really ooh, that's nice. Oh. Yeah, I like that. That's very pretty. Right. Oh, wait. Like, yeah. I like that. That's really nice. I am probably going to use this. And, oh, uh-oh. Knock my mouse off the desk. That would be nice lime, right? Yeah, if they remove the restriction for indoor-outdoor items. Yeah, I really like that lantern. And the roof dies just like the Eastern well. Very nice. I'm almost 100% going to use that. I think my favorite thing out here is the Elpis stand. Although I do, again, I wish... See, again, here we go, where we have a pillar now, and I really wish that we had, like, a stone wall that was nice and clean and not destroyed, that would fit both with... It would be, like, something that could fit with the Elpis stuff, as well as with the Ishgardian stuff. I feel like they need to give us... And make it dyeable, just like the bamboo thing, so the stone could match the lighter color of the Elpis stuff or the darker color of, like, this. And I think that'd be a really strong addition, you know? Or a housing skin that's Elpis themed. Actually, that would be incredible. Yeah, that would be cool. Actually, did we get any new housing skins this time around? Be amazing. Not this time? Oh, dang. Okay. Well, that's okay. Honestly, this patch has brought us so many wonderful items that this is fantastic. I think this is such a strong patch. Wow. Let's go back inside and end in there, I think. Cool, I think that's all the items for the most part there. And let's quickly look back through these. Yeah, so I think absolute standouts, yeah, this thing, the metal door, gardens. I think the Garlean stove will be really cool. I think this is going to be really useful for a lot of people, the mummer's shelf. Simple baskets. I actually don't know if this is going to be as versatile as some of the other stuff, but I think for what it will be used for, like the backsplashes and stuff, it's going to be really, really pretty. Because that's a really nice looking texture. I think this is gonna... A lot of people will like this with the whole... the cheese fondue set. And you consume it, and then you have a really... We determined that if you consume this, you end up with a really pretty cast iron skillet, which I think is going to be very useful for people to put on their kitchen counters or on their stoves or even on the shelves or whatever. I think that's really nice. This door is going to save people so many slots. And the versatility also too of that on the back of this door, there is no doorknob. So that will make for a nice like windowed segment to a wall that I think will be really nice. Amazing branch. Really, really cool. Love this branch. Definitely going to be using it for something. I don't know what yet, but for something. Same with this ivy, probably adding more detail and greenery growth in a build. Really like that this one is so clean in terms of that there isn't anything else going on. No beads, no extra ornamentation, just pure greenery. Wings for G-posers, for sure. Curtain with probably the... I could see a lot of people making really beautiful stages and vanity areas and stuff with the curtain. And then a lot of people also using the curtain just with the as the doorknob. Right there for the with the edge. This for nightclubs and venues and casinos and spaceships, especially like this side maybe. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe the stars too. Yeah, I could see this for a lot of like spaceship, futuristic builds. The wooden beam. Oh my goodness, the versatility of this as a structural element will be really, really useful. I think tons of stuff people can do with this. Zareg102, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Wings, indeed. These wings are so good. And the fact that they can die so you can make them into like dark angel wings or something. Super cool for G-pose. Whenever, I guess, Maple, I think, was saying that we don't know where these are from yet. The steps and then this loft thing. But once we do, oh man, these are so good. Except for this one looks like the steps on this side look like Borderlands, but I do wonder in low lighting with like custom lighting, like right now the lights are all the way up, but with the right lighting, I wonder if the sort of cartooniness of this can be muted back a little bit. I think that would be really helpful. I love the back of this. I'm going to be probably using that. This side, this item, I love every single bit of this. I think the edges are great. I think the bottom is fantastic. Top is fantastic. Really nice, like really nice texture on this one. And it's dyeable to make like white stone walkways, like that, right? Very pretty, extremely useful. These portraits are fantastic. I wish there was more. Y'shtola's one is great. I wish there was more separation for some of them, like Thancred's here. This is Thancred. This is Thancred, and he's blending into the background, which I guess, as was pointed out, is kind of true to his character. But I do wish there was a bit more separation of his silhouette. But overall, these are really beautiful. Yeah, these are really, really nice. And then these are funny with the paying the money to have these like sorry signs. Pretty great. Sweet. Wow, that was great. Oh my goodness, I am so excited to build with these items. What do you guys think? What are your favorite items? What's your favorite item from this patch, housing wise? The plant branch says Neon Fox. Clips is saying 100% the portraits. Flagstone Loft. Yep. The stone lofts. There's a lot of good ones, but the plant branch. Yeah, plant branch is really good, I gotta say. Definitely top tier. Flagstone Loft. Stone Loft. Yeah, I think... I definitely feel like the stone loft is very unique. Like because basically everybody who makes stone builds just uses a shitload of these, right? For the most part. I mean, there's some other ways around that, but like between this and like maybe the new waterfall, is it fountain? No. Eastern. What is it? What is it called? What are those called? Waterfalls? Is it waterfall? Yeah, indoor Orient waterfall. So like using this, the backs of this, or using the masonwork stuff. And that's pretty much like how you make stonework stuff. Eastern indoor ponds too, right? You can do this one, right? And using the bottom of this for stone stuff. But there's not a ton of options for stonework. So now with them adding though these two items in, this like changes a lot, I think, for a lot of people. These will be really, really, really useful. Especially like that, maybe, for like cave builds, like natural looking stuff. I think that's really going to be quite game-changing for a lot of people, as well as this. I think this is also extremely game-changing for a lot of people in its versatility, as maybe like windows, as custom metalwork on the edges here, as probably a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm not even thinking of. Yeah. And I'm sure we're going to also have some of these that get used in some extremely atypical, outside-the-box way, and it's going to blow everyone away. Super cool, though. Cannot wait to see what everybody comes up with these. Cool. Yeah. Well, okay, so, I think we're gonna start pretty much wrapping up the stream, though, here. Thank you very much for everybody for coming out to the stream. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope my little review and live reaction to this was interesting and informative, maybe gave you some ideas or something. Quick, important note. So, my housing streams have always been Monday and Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m. PST, right? Starting next week, the housing stream will now be Monday and Thursday. Same time, same place here, but just Monday and Thursday. Lime, if you want to get in frame here, you can come join me. But yeah, I need to switch it away from the second day from Wednesday to Thursday. We did a poll last time and everybody agreed, for the most part, Thursday worked the best for the most people. So we're gonna go with Thursday for now. And the reason I'm changing it is because Prominence, my nightclub, if you don't know, by the way, I own a nightclub and I built it myself. It's called Prominence. And we open every other Wednesday and every other Sunday. So next Wednesday is going to be the next opening of Prominence, and we'll have new hours for that. So now Prominence's hours will be 7 to 10 p.m. PST. So an extra hour at the beginning. So we'll have 3-hour openings now regularly. So here you go. There's a little ad for Prominence if you want to jot that down. The address there is also below the gameplay. So 7 to 10 p.m. PST next Wednesday, a week from now. New time for Prominence, adding an extra hour at the beginning. And we got some exciting things coming for Prominence too, so really excited about that. I hope you guys are too. I think it'll be a really good time. But it does mean that we have to switch the housing stream from Wednesday to Thursday just because I don't want the times to run into each other, because it was already running into each other a lot. So I hope that doesn't mess anyone's schedule up too much. I hope you can still make it to both housing days. But yes, starting next week, Monday and Thursday, and we're going to try that for now and see how that works. Okay? So tell your friends, let your friends know if they're interested in the housing stream and they couldn't make it today, that starting next week, Monday and Thursday, I will be putting a message about that in my Discord. Which, by the way, if you'd like to keep up with all of my streams, and like I do DJ sets, I own Prominence, we run Prominence as the club, I do the housing streams, we do housing tours, and we share our builds and we talk about design and stuff. If you're interested in staying connected with all that, getting notifications when I go live or about upcoming events, the best way to stay in contact with me is to follow me here on Twitch, if you haven't already, and join my Discord. I've just linked it there in the Twitch chat if you'd like to join. Would love to have you in there. We have a lot of wonderful people in there, and we, basically plan good times together and nerd out about stuff. It's a good time. And yeah. Oh, this week, so no more housing stream for the rest this week. Housing stream next week, Monday and Thursday. But DJ sets, tomorrow night, Thursday, I'm going to be playing at Night Bloom on Crystal from 6 to 9 p.m. PST. So that's at Night Bloom on Crystal. And then on Saturday from, I believe it's 8 to 11, I want to say. I think it's 8 to 11 PST. I'm playing on Ether at the Ley Lines end of summer beach bash. So I will be one of the headlining acts there. So yeah, if you're in my Discord, there are events in the Discord for both of those, so you can see the info there. And I'll of course be pinging everybody who opted in for notifications about that. But yeah, so two DJ sets, one tomorrow night and then one Saturday night, and then housing stream next week, as well as Prominence inside the club and in the garden. So if anybody wants more info on Prominence, there you go. There's the website for it. The links to also all my other socials, so Twitter, my YouTube channel, where you can find my YouTube channel has all the VODs from all my housing streams. So if you're interested in seeing the whole catalog of all the housing streams that I did, tours, walkthroughs of my nightclubs, a bunch of like concept builds, the one where I did googly eyes, mystery item builds, a bunch of fun stuff, NPC item only builds. Check out my YouTube channel. The whole catalog is there for you to enjoy of housing streams. Yeah. I think that's everything, and thank you everybody for coming. I hope you had a fun time. I can't wait to get back to Island Sanctuary, the MSQ, and building, of course, with these new items. I hope you guys are having a great time with 6.2, the patch content, and enjoying everything. Thanks for coming by, Lime in Game. Thank you for everybody who coming by on stream. This is actually the kitchen, the modern kitchen concept that I made last week on stream, last week and the week before. The VOD, the whole 4 streams where I was building this thing that I'm standing in right now, this kitchen that I'm standing in. You can see me build this entire thing. It's all on the YouTube channel. I just uploaded them. So if you're interested at all in seeing how this was made and watching the whole process, it's all available on my YouTube channel. But yeah, until next time, hopefully see some of you at the DJ sets, probably see many of you and talk to you in the Discord as well. Until I see you next though, have a wonderful rest of your evening wherever you end up. I'm Noah, and thanks for coming. Good evening and good night, everybody.